All right, hey, welcome once again. This episode 3, CanBo and Greens. Here's today my man Deneen. He finally made it back on his
What's
hiatus.
I know y'all miss me, man. I'm back in the action. Let's get it.
Hey, my man, it's been a blessing so far, man. Working with you, working with everybody else as well. A lot of things has happened, a lot of changes have happened. I want to also congratulate once again another one of our brothers, business partners, Demario Gooch, on becoming a made man today. So once again, I just want to congratulate him as also him and his wife. I wish everything.
Yeah, I give my blessings and congratulations on that as well. That's good.
Definitely, definitely. Say, let's get at it, people. Let's not wait no further. Today, man, we're gonna kind of chop it up. We're gonna have what I call a casual Friday, where on this casual Friday we're gonna be discussing just general topics, nothing about our products, but specifically to touch key highlight points and discussions on cannabis, things that I've kind of been looking over, things that even me and Denise's talked about, and I'm pretty sure stuff like that have been drawn to his attention as well. So I just want us to have a general casual Friday type of conversation and just drop some gems and just roll from there. So to shoot this off, we're going to discuss why does people associate cannabis and lazy. Um, I'm gonna start this one off because I hear this all the time, man. I had a discussion with a couple of friends and associates and people in general, and they always the people that has never had cannabis, they always say, nah, man, that's gonna make me lazy, or I ain't gonna be able to think good, and they always have that where all the people I know that's on it, they ain't doing nothing with themselves, and this and that. Um, I just don't understand that mindset. What you think about it?
I don't think I've ever got that either. I mean, it's definitely been a long-standing stigma or stereotype. But a lot of people don't even realize that there's so many different strands, CBD, THC, that actually uplift you and give you energy. What I mean, and put you in a different mind state. There are some, obviously that that's will have you a little sleepy or just relaxed. I'd say relaxed. I won't even say lazy, but yeah. So it really depends what you're using. So yeah.
Yeah, my philosophy I've always told people it's it's the mindset of the person, not necessarily always the substance.
Right.
And people should be able to understand and relate that to anything from clues. They always say, clothes, the man should be able to make the clothes, the clothes shouldn't make the man. And because some people they'll put on a certain type of clothes and they'll act a certain way, or things like that, because it's that person mindset of how they push things out. Is either you have it or you don't. um so even in general, I had to do some. I had to do a couple of research and studies on this, just trying to get understanding why people have this negative insight. And one thing I also looked at is accountability and how people prioritize their life. And like for me, I've always grew up with a working mentality and a playing mentality. Well, I used to always drink and party and have fun when I was younger, but I also built um habits of going to work, going to school, coming home and studying, partying at night, going to work, going to school. So even when it comes to dealing with cannabis, like my habits never ever changed. I always still was like go to work, come home, do this and do that. So it never affected me because it was a habit, not the substance that made my habits. I already had those habits of taking accountability and knowing how to prioritize my life.
Routine, but you were pretty hefty.
Right, right, right. A lot of people don't have a routine. That's the thing. If you don't have a priorities set, if you're not responsible, that's a you thing. That's not necessarily the substance that you're taking. Um, And if that's the case, it's like, so do we tell overweight people to stop eating completely? You know what I'm saying? Like, do we say that? If you're gonna say, hey, well, I'm just now because it cannabis because it makes you lazy, that's just like, well, I'm not gonna eat because it's gonna make me fat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, it's like I'm going to eat accordingly. I'm gonna eat healthy. I'm gonna be aware of what I eat.
And
And
like what
when
I is everything in moderation. You know, if you overdo anything, I think it's going to give you a different effect than what you intend for it. So I mean, you definitely you don't want to overindulge in anything. You know what I mean? But especially with this, if you use it in moderation, it should be fine. You know, and you should be able to go about your daily day and do what you have to do. Especially CBD, you know what I mean, when it's supposed to relax you and things like that, it's supposed to allow you, you know what I mean, or relieve some of the anxiety of maybe the things that you have to do, but not slow you up from doing it, you know.
hey, exactly. Um, Another thing that I've always tried to understand is why we have such of a negative viewpoint and a negative outlook initially. Like, just initially, it's like we always had a negative outlook of cannabis. It's bad, kind of like pit bulls. You know what I'm saying? Why is that?
It all goes back to the media, you know, all goes back to how it's portrayed and what we see every day. And for the most part, it's television and it's a negative connotation or negative stereotype attached to it. When you see somebody, you know, playing I guess maybe a weed head or something like that on TV, or and there's somebody that's just lethargic, not completely coherent, and just you know what I mean, just a bum, you know what I mean. So that's really how they want you to see it. You know, when in reality you have alcoholism, you have all these different things. You know what I mean? And this is, you know, CBD, THC, these things actually help you, you know, relieve some of the anxiety, relieve stress, and don't cause the same effects as those things. You know what I mean? But don't get the same I guess they don't get viewed the same on television. You know,
True,
so hmm
true. Hey, I'm gonna even drop this on you. Let's drop some data. According to the Research University of Colorado, surveyed more than like 600 cannabis consumers, right? And in this state where we all know in Colorado, this stuff is legal all the way around, THC and CBD, all the way around, I say almost 500 of these consumers, 1 hour before and up to probably 4 to 5 hours after exercising, smoke this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They smoke it. And not only that, but 78% stated that it enhances their recovery from exercising. And 50% of that 600, 300 people still a high number, it actually increased their motivation to work out.
mm.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
definitely believe that because you know what I mean in those instances where you're like, oh man, like you feel sluggish, it's like you want to go do something, you know what I mean. And if you're already having the habit to go work out, that's most likely what you're gonna get motivated to do, you know what I mean. And that's gonna keep you energized. So yeah, I can believe that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be all the way 100. I don't know nobody. Probably I say 60, maybe 70% of the college students I went to college with all smoked.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about like the smart ones. You know what I'm saying? Like the ones that stayed up all night studying. Cause I was up there with them studying. And a lot of them, they smoked. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't ever really understand how they associate the lazy, the non-motivating, because most of the people I knew was very, very educated, very motivated, even creativity. Because um, that's one reason. Like now, when I'm able to smoke CBD, I'm able to get a lot of work done. It actually helped me come up with the idea of this of CanBo greens. It helped me come up with Gucci it. It helped me come up with a lot of things. It didn't make me just want to bomb out and chill all day. It actually helped inspire and motivate me more
Thoughts and
than
things.
that.
Right.
Right. So it's another thing. Have you ever thought about this one though? What
Mm.
about the taxation of everything? Is it could the powers that be want to make it so negative because they know deep down inside that hey, I can't control and get my hands deep inside the pockets of the money and tax it because of the way that it's so individually sold on a entrepreneur level.
Right. I think that's a big portion of it. You know what I mean? And for the most part, once you see that they get a hold on how they plan on monetizing it, you know what I mean, and control and regulating it, you know what I mean. I'm bet you see a lot more states, you know, uh, going legal. You know what I mean, with THC and different things. But as far as CBD, you've seen a lot more prevalent. You know what I mean, because of the fact that laws were put behind it, legislations was put behind it, you know what I mean, and it's been vetted through the different regulated branches, you know, so you see it a lot more. So that just, you know, that it's really about the control. I mean, until they're able to control it, we'll see it a lot more prevalent out here. So yeah.
Also, I'm gonna go a little deeper. If people don't, if I don't think people ever sat back and pondered on this,
Mm.
but I pondered on this one.
What you
People
got?
don't realize the high number on a ratio level.
Mm-hmm.
If you count all the people that are in jail or in prison, the high amount of number of quote unquote black entrepreneurs and business owners, if you want to include all the people that they went put in jail for selling weed.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Like the
I had to.
numbers are extremely high when you want to look at if we want to count, and you know how society wants to put us on the bottom of barrel of not to be able to be business mind, not to be able to handle business, and we don't want to start a business or we just don't have the motivation. And I feel like deep down inside is they don't like the fact that we all most of us from nature we automatically want to have our own. That's why a lot of us start I quote unquote entrepreneur by selling marijuana because they don't want to work for nobody.
All right.
And it's like it's seen in a negative fashion when we was growing up, but as I gotten older, I'm like I applaud that because they got it. They got it. They was like, hey, I'm not finna go out here and work and I know my kid's stomach are growling when I
Right.
know I can start my own business and I know this business it's not even really hurt nobody. It's just illegal. But I know how to I have uh natural economy accounting skills. I
Right.
have natural business skills. You have natural time management skills. You got natural social skills. Team leadership skills. You see what I'm saying? Like all that plays, especially in the hood and when you work in the inner cities, like deep down sides, those skills that are frowned upon, if you put that on a professional um inner like a professional
Yeah.
white area, them people know how to change the terminology and make them work make that sound so lovely. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And it's crazy, but it's like I used to sit back and I used to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Is that we as people, man, we got to understand the roles and what's really happening and what we've been trying to do, but it's always been deemed is hey, we got to be more open minded
Right.
about growth, you know?
Right. Growth, because of now that shift a little bit more consciousness towards different things like this are starting to open and be more open-minded to it, you know what I mean, so you're going to start seeing it a lot more. So we, you know what I mean, it's already been known what this system has been doing has been wrong, you know what I mean, it's been set to disadvantage, you know, a certain group of people, you know what I mean, but at the same time knowing that we have to overcome that, you know what I mean, and put ourselves in position, you know, to take advantage of it as things, you know, legislation, you know, works in our favor. You know what I mean? Because as it stands, when you look at these states stuff like that, where it is legal, we're not controlling any of the market. We're barely controlling, a fraction of what's being distributed. So that goes into just business ownership, and like you said, just having ownership. Because we have been owners in this, even though we've been stunted. There's a lot of us that have still been able to survive and thrive. Given all those circumstances. So we just got to continue to boom. And use our natural talents, to our benefit.
Hey, right on. I'm gonna piggyback on what you're saying. I'm not even finna go in order no more because you hit another key point, and that's ownership, and that's what I was gonna talk about last. But I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna do that first. I'm gonna leave the other one last. Um, do you think ownership is necessary with legacy building?
Uh, Without a doubt. I do, without a doubt. At this point, we've been as a people striving to just survive. And it's time for us not to just to survive, but to build equity. And equity for our family name. So it's extremely important at this time to go ahead and do that by establishing ownership, and something that can be passed down from generation to generation. Something that can be looked at as a foundation for our family's growth and our family's wealth. It's extremely important that we work towards, whether it be real estate, whether it be a business, a storefront, whether it be some online business, whatever the case may be. There's something that we could say, hey, I could teach the next generation this, and they can use this to be self-sustainable. So that's extremely important.
Definitely, definitely. One thing I'm in the process. I think I talked about it to you before. I'm trademarking mindless maturity,
Yeah,
and
so
yeah,
talked about that. You got to show me how that process goes.
it's a tedious process. I'm literally in the process right now where I gotta review 8 pages of paperwork, and I gotta specify this and specify that. And they actually go like when you do, they actually go online. They actually check like your websites, your Google, and everything. And they went through my website. They like literally nitpicked my website and where the product is placed and how it's fonted and the words of. And it's like it's not the process as easy as people. It's not a 1, 2, 3 process. It's not a you pay money, they send you back, say, hey, congratulations, you're good. Uh,
Right.
Even due to the fact that my name is original, it passed that level. But there's so many other levels after that that they look at. And that's what's mind blowing. That's how I know ownership is so important due to the tedious work that they're doing that I have to go through to own it.
Right.
And it's not the business, it's the brand. You know what I'm saying? It's like once you build the brand and increase the brand awareness, because your business can always change or you can always lose your business, but your brand can always fluctuate from one type of business to another.
Right.
And that's the power of your brand and the logo and what it symbolizes. You can always shift it how any way you want to. And that's one reason why I'm tackling this ASAP on trademarking it, because that's gonna be my value. Not at necessarily the business, because I'm the business is gonna have so many different business with inside of the brand. Like right now, this is CanBo Greens. This is under mindless maturity.
Right.
Uh, we have the CBD products that we sell. We have the YouTube show Gucci. We have night owls that we're going to do our nightly thing for people that stay up late. We're going to have uh, counseling for young kids. We're going to have different projects that I want to work on, getting kids to relate to one another. So a lot of things is going to be surfaced around it, but the goal is to us to grab the ownership of something and resource it or amongst each other, because a lot of companies, like right now I'm getting emails by attorneys about helping me to trademark. Hey, you still gotta spend money, and I'm like,
Right.
I can do that myself. I don't need no attorney to help me. I can figure this out myself. But it's always a fight for your product. It's always going to be a fight for your name and what you own, especially if it's going to have potential value. So it's very important to keep that value inside of your legacy and pass it on. And it grows. It's just like a house. You know what I'm saying? You can have a 1 bedroom house with a bunch of land. And after 5, 10 years, you can have a 7 bedroom house and still have all that land left. And you grow and you grow and you build within that land. And that's how a brand is. You
Right.
start small and it builds from there. And I've been learning that through this process, and it's been a headache, but I love it because I see the growth of it and I see the potential, and everybody else sees the potential. It's like, let's keep growing with it. But
Right.
I tell people it's very important, man, when we start
Definitely
our businesses.
business. Yeah, business. That's number one.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
security to make sure that no one can come behind you and try to swoop it from under you. You know what I mean? Legally, there's nothing they can do. You know what I mean? If done properly. So yeah.
right. Yeah, you hear this one, these it's a company. They trying to sue this lady off the brand or something because her name is like similar to their brand or something, but it's her name or whatever. But they trying to sue. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like that's what people gotta understand. That's how
Des-
serious the marketing, the branding, all that's so important.
and how desperate people could be. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
So
Oh yeah. So when, everybody that watches this show or listens to this show, please, if you ain't trademarked your company, you better be putting in that paperwork now because it's a process by itself. It takes. My paperwork just getting to the attorney examiner that approves it, and that you have to wait at least 3 months before it gets to that person. So that just gives you a gist of how long the process is. It's not like getting an LLC. LLC was actually faster to
mm,
get business company of legal, but to stamp the name as your own, it's a longer process.
I'm wondering if it's something. Is that something a service legal Zoom offers?
Um, yeah, they do patenting, copyrights, and trademarking. It costs it because I don't think did I pay? What did I pay? I paid less.
Mm.
You
To do.
pay less. You pay a lot less doing it this way than you was doing it with LegalZoom. You gonna be paying way more.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're paying way more. I pay because they tax fees and stuff to it, and it makes it way more.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, it definitely makes it way more. But other than that, my man, this is I tell people when it comes to that, just be prepared for the process, but it's worth it.
All right.
It's definitely worth it. Um, I want to go back and touch on my last point, and then I'm gonna throw it back to you, my man. Um, One thing, not just about cannabis, but the real world that we're in right now, when it comes to dealing with our health and our well-being, a lot of people really can't handle the reality of their life and the reality of what's surrounding them. So they tend to have, how can I put it? They fear causes them to run to fantasy land. You know what I'm saying? It's like as soon as a person just have the reality hit and it frightens them, it's like they gotta seek some kind of pillow, some kind of, I wanna say like cookie or cake, that comfort to take them away from what's really going on outside your door or even with yourself. You shade everything, you shade the reality.
Mhm. No,
What
that's something that it's a coping mechanism. Something that we all kind of do, whether it be within a substance, you know what I mean, alcohol, whether it be sweets, that pillow, you know what I mean. We all look for something that provides a what's the word I'm looking for? Familiarity. You know what I mean, and something that we draw comfort from. You know, so yeah, it's something that you want with what they got going on as far as reality of, you know what I mean. But yeah, like you said, a lot of people just to turn to their happy place. You know what I mean? And so yeah, it's something that dulls whatever pain you're dealing with, or um, it keeps you. I guess it keeps you saying, I really don't know. You know, so yeah.
I'm gonna throw some questions to people to think about. I'm not even gonna like answer it. I won't. That's another thing why I like my logo, the question mark, because it's questions that
The
sometimes we shouldn't answer, but the people watching us, you have to answer these questions for yourself. What you say?
I say, yeah, think on it. They gotta think on it.
Yeah, like that critical thinking process thing.
Hmm.
Um, why do you spend 5 to 10 hours playing video games? Why do we have to run to the club to find somebody to take us away from pain? Why do we need someone else to make us happy? Why do we never take the time to fix ourselves before you go to somebody else? Those are some tough things to think about.
For
You know,
sure.
some tough questions to answer. But guess what? Um, that's what CanBo Greens is all about. We're trying to heal you, just not on a product level, but on a mental level.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, some deep questions. You know, definitely some self questions for sure.
right. And we always going to drop these kind of questions from time to time. I mean, we want people to really start accepting reality, accepting themselves, and accepting learning how to fix yourself. That's one reason why we do the products and we sell the products we sell, because we want people to really, if you can, slowly get away from the the prescription medicines that's causing us to be addicted, like opioids and hydrocodone and all that stuff. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. They tried to give my son that for his surgery when he got his tonsils, and Adenol, they gave him a little bottle of it, about that much of it. I threw that shit away.
Hmm.
I said, I don't need that shit, man. Like, what do my son need with hydrocodone? You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy, man. And
Probably be
that's
a lot.
what causes you to have problems with breathing.
Right. The side effects alone, you know, is probably worse than what it's supposed to heal. You know, so.
Exactly. And the crazy part is he has asthma. So
Mm.
why is his doctor prescribing him amounts of hydrocodone that will prevent you to have less breath, knowing he has asthma?
All right.
Something to think about, people.
Yeah,
Something to think
for sure.
about.
For sure.
But yeah. But besides that, my man, I just want to do this touch bases on this one thing, and I'm gonna drop it to you. People, in order for us to get collectively together and have reality talks as a collective, we got to start having more conversations like me and Deneen are having as a collective. We got to start having more conference meetings. We got to start having more committees, meetings, and things like that. Having our own inner council meetings amongst ourselves and having these discussions amongst ourselves, because that's going to be very essential. We got to be able to have workshops, create different seminars and avenues amongst ourselves, to target these things instead of calling each other and gossiping. Gossiping is not going to solve a problem. All you're doing is continue to talk about the problem and never talking about a solution. And what's the point of not having a solution Is it because you like the drama? Something else to think about.
All
Yeah.
questions. Sure.
Hey, some people just don't want a solution.
All right.
Yeah. But hey, I'm gonna let you drop it off with the last one, my man.
Yes, sir, man. To touch on different, we need to be generate income. A lot of times, what I mean, we say, "Oh man, I don't have money," but we just lack the resources or the mental resources to go out and make money. You know what I'm saying? And so we're not dependent on the job or whatever the case may be. And even in the simplest form, what I mean, if it really just take the determination to go out and do what you have to do. You know what I mean? But once your back's against the wall, like we talked about a little bit earlier, some must resort to selling illegal things and stuff like that. But where there's so many legal ways to go about making income and making a difference, what I mean, for yourself and for your family. It's just about going out there and trying until you get it. So just for me, I was always as simple as it was, just going out there and speaking to people, because you never really know what their need may be at the time. So if it's going and talking to somebody, hey, look, I'll cut your grass for, $10, $15, and just being consistent. What do you need? What need you have in your life, that I can fulfill, that might make me some money. And you'll find that, just the simplest things, will have you, earning $10, $15. And think about doing that, 10 times a day. You just, if you were to charge somebody $15 for a simple task, and do that 10 times a day, you just made $150 a day. What I mean? And what you just became was an entrepreneur with in as simple as it seems. So just breaking it down on the simplest level, because a lot of times we don't think about those things. We're always jumping to, I don't have enough money for this, or I don't have enough money to start that. But everyone starts somewhere. So another thing too, if you do have a little bit of capital, maybe start a t-shirt line. Especially with all the things going on right now. You could draw from the world that you see around you, and create a brand for yourself, sort of like what we're just talking about with the LLC and the copyright and trademark. What I mean? Create something, what I mean? Use the mental capacity that we have, what I mean, to create something that will generate you income. What I mean? On the simplest level, if you were to sell 10 shirts a day at $10, what I mean, you just made $100 a day for yourself. So just breaking down the numbers and thinking about different ways to make income. For me, I do a lot of trading. I'm into real estate. I'm into the foreign currency exchange. But I know from an early age that if you wanted to get to a certain place, you had to have 7 streams of income. So I'm always looking for a new stream, something that's going to allow me to create income without giving all of my time. You know what I mean? So it goes back to time management, ambition, everything that you need from a ground level to get, to where you want to be, financially, is out there for you. So that's pretty much it. And I guess we're going to end with that, right?
Yeah, man. You spit that fire, man. So hey, I nothing else for me to say, man. Once again, this is a
Oh,
Campbell
man, these are
Greens.
the topics that we got to talk about, like you said, man. So I'm excited to talk about it, bro. And let's keep opening the minds of the people, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said, people, we're not doing this for us. We're doing this for y'all.
Facts.
Understand that, people. Like, I need people to really understand that we make our own. We already got, what I'm saying, comfortable jobs and comfortable lives, but we want everybody else to have that inner happiness, that same satisfaction, that same self growth, self love, and all these other things. So, hey, man, I'm continuing. We're going to do this. We're going to keep going until I can't do it no more.
That's
'Cause I
fact.
feel passionate about this. I feel passionate about my people. I feel passionate about, hey, the people I work with, Deneen, his family. I'm passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Likewise, likewise.
yeah. Hey, peace and love, my people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Till next time. We're signing out.
Later.
One.